Alright, I'm at Kelly's house today, and we're going to make a really nice quick entree. We're going to do a chicken dish. We've had a lot of requests for chicken, so we're going to do a quick saute dish that's got lots of flavor with some chipotle and then some fresh pineapple salsa too. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got a nice non-stick skillet here over a pretty high heat, and I'm going to add a little bit of EVOO, probably about a tablespoon. And then what I did is I bought some sliced chicken breast. I like to use sliced chicken breast because it cooks up quicker. So I'm going to take a little salt and pepper and season this up. Kosher salt, of course. You guys know by now that I'm a big fan of fresh cracked pepper and kosher salt. Makes all the difference. So we're just going to season that up. And I already have the pan on a little bit here before we got started, so it should be nice and hot, which it is, and that's what we want. And we're going to add this in a little bit at a time. I'm not just going to throw it all in at once because that's going to cool the pan down too much. And again, I like to use these strips because they cook faster. You know, we got to head out the door here in a little bit, so this is going to go real quick. Spread these out. And then I'm not going to mess with them once we get them in there. Alright. So we're going to let those go. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to glaze these off once they get going. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more. And we're going to glaze them with a little bit of adobo, which is basically a chipotle pepper, which is smoked jalapeno, that's packed in a jar with a really flavorful, spicy tomato sauce. And I'm not going to use the actual chipotle pepper, which there's one of those in here. I'm just going to use this sauce that it's packed in. And I'm only going to use about a tablespoon, so it really packs a wallop. A little bit goes a long way. And then I'm going to hit it with a little fresh orange juice. You know, about half an orange. We're going to squeeze that in there. The two of those together is going to make a really nice glaze. Kind of a spicy glaze to go with our fresh pineapple salsa. I've already got one Roma tomato diced up in here. And I'm going to use some fresh pineapple. Now to peel pineapple, I took the top off. And then we're going to cut off the top. And we're going to cut off the bottom. And we're doing that so that we got a nice flat surface to work with. Okay, so it's not going to roll around. And then we're just going to take our knife and follow the contour of the pineapple and take the peel off. And we want to get rid of these little brown eyes here. We don't want those on there. Those are really hard to chew, not very desirable. Okay, we'll set these off to the side. And then we're just going to take our knife and cut it right down the middle. We're going to set this off for later. I'm only going to use about a quarter of the pineapple. And then I'm going to take the core out. Because we don't want to eat that raw. It's a little chewy. We can save this for stir fries and stuff though. It's got a really nice texture for that. And then we're just going to take our knife and we're going to make a lengthwise cut. So we've got two nice sized little strips here. And then we're going to dice it up. And this is going to be kind of the base for our salsa. We're going to do a pretty small cut. See, that's the neighbors. They can smell the chicken right now because it smells so good in here. They're calling to see what's going on. So we're going to add that in. And then we're going to flavor this. This is a really quick, really fresh salsa. We're going to use the other half of our orange and squeeze that juice in there. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little fresh mint. It's going to give it just a little bit of a different characteristic. And we're going to end up with probably a couple tablespoons of fresh mint leaves that we're just going to chop up. Real coarse chop. We don't want to mince them up a lot because then we're going to lose all that flavor on our cutting board. And we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to run the knife through it, just like this, and add that in. And then we're going to season it with a little salt and pepper. Now this is something you could certainly make up ahead of time. The longer it sits, the more flavor it's going to get. It's going to all melt together. And I'm also going to add about a half a teaspoon of some cumin powder. I love cumin in salsa. You could add some fresh onion to this if you wanted to. We're just going to leave it like this because the kids are going to be eating it later, and they're not super big fans of onion. So we're going to kind of lay low on that. Our chicken's getting ready to flip over. Got some nice brown going on there. You can see that. That's what we want right there. And again, with these strips, it doesn't take long to cook. And this is kind of nice because it's just a one-pot meal. We're only dirtying up one pan. We're going to let those go some more. Now the other thing we're going to do with our salsa is we're going to add some fresh avocado. It's going to be great with the pineapple, great with the chili and the chipotle. And what I'm going to do is, picking out a ripe avocado is pretty tricky for people. They're kind of scared of it. What you want to do to test it is pick it up, you look for one that's a little darker in the peel, and then what you want to do is find the seed that's usually off to the center and just push on it. And if that goes down, then you're good to go. It's nice and ripe. You don't have to sit there and squeeze it like this. If you do that, that's going to bruise the meat of the avocado. It's not going to be as nice. So this guy's sank down really well, so I know that we're nice and ripe. I'm just going to run a knife through it lengthways and do this, and then we've got a beautiful, nice meat there in the middle. Then we're going to take a spoon. Be careful you don't get that seed when you're doing this part. And scoop it out. I'm only going to use about half of the avocado. Now to get the other part out, this is a little tricky. You want to be really careful. Put a nice heavy towel in your hand, and then put the seed in there with a sharp knife. You just barely tap it, turn it, and then you can take it out like that. Okay? Real simple. So I've got half an avocado, and I'm just going to run my knife through and dice this up, about the same size as the others. Now avocado can turn brown as the air hits it once you start cutting it up, but we've got that orange juice in there, and the acid from that's going to help it from turning brown. Okay? And that's pretty much the salsa is ready to go. Like I said, you could definitely add some chilies to this if you wanted to, but we're going to make it real nice and fresh. This is something we could keep in the fridge, you know, make a little salad out of it. Grill a piece of fish in the summertime. This is great with grilled fish. Nice and simple and easy. Lots of fresh flavor. That's all ready to go. We're going to set that aside. Our chicken's almost done. I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of this adobo sauce and add that. And we're just going to do it at the last minute, kind of glaze it off. You can really smell that coming off the heat. If you like it spicier, you can add more. And then I'm going to add the other half of the orange that we used earlier. And that fresh orange juice and that adobo is going to make a really nice glaze. It just kind of gets all happy with itself in there. And this chicken is done. Now what we can do is we could use this on top of some salad greens. We could make a little tortilla wrap out of it. We could make a sandwich out of it. Even chill it down and serve it cold. You know, maybe make it for a lunch for the kids if they feel like trying something a little different. And I'm going to grab a plate. Serve this up on it. Actually, I'm going to grab a different plate because that was the plate I had my chicken on. We don't want to put raw chicken on the meal we're going to be serving up. And we're going to take our chicken. You know, we can make this an entree too. You know, serve it with a little rice, some sauteed potatoes, but it smells awesome. Make a nice little pile of that, and then we'll top it with our salsa. And man, this smells really good. I'm excited to try this one as soon as that camera's turned off. And we are ready to go. We got a beautiful adobo glazed chicken with a nice fresh pineapple and avocado salad. Thanks a lot.